Hey, good morning, it's Kel Casey. It's Friday, July 12th. We're at the Break It Down session here, Shovel Creek Fire. It is moist. You see a little scene change. I do have my yellow on, but it rained last night. I'm sure if you live in the Fairbanks area, you know that. It was also a very scary night for dogs. So that's part of the good, bad, and the ugly. Last night, the dogs were all scared in town and up on the fire line. Lots of lightning. We'll have a red flag warning today, again till midnight for lightning. And of course, the situation changed in the general area with the Anderson evacuation level. So we want to give a shout out to all those folks impacted by that. They're going through what you went through 12, 14 days ago. And so thinking about the Anderson friends and family in Alaska who live there. And then we sent initial attack resources, as did other parts of Alaska, to go support them. So that's part of the bad. The good, we did get about a ½ inch of rain, up to 2/3. We'll get the highlights up this morning, but there's a little bit with the cloud deck here, a little bit lower connectivity, so we couldn't quite get them out. But the IMET from NOAA, our incident meteorologist, did say about 2/3 of rain. That's hard to say where it all fell. It's always a caveat in the world of a landscape that's this big, that not all areas receive the same amount of rain. So when we talk about the rainfall amounts, yes, there was precip. Yes, that's going to be really good for the fuels, meaning that the fuels are going to absorb that moisture and burn much more slowly. That gives us a chance to be on the offensive. But here's the ugly: the mud and slime and what we call greasy, slimy roads. You'll hear that in firefighting a lot, because it's very common for us to go through a big effort like we just did, a 5 or 6 or 7 day strategic operation. You know, that epic burn that went all the way down. This alone is 7 miles right here that Jameson and this division is dealing with mopping up. But then all these roads right now are slick. That moisture brings out that kind of loamy clay, and we have big rigs with the water tenders still working. We're still going to pump water in here. We're still assessing to see how the burn went. It's a very much we're on the offensive because we're not running back from the flames. But all the driving, even the walking, and people are much more likely to slip. They have these trails they've beaten in along the fire line. They're using the dog trails here on the north to hold it, but they still have to go out and patrol that. And so as they're doing that, the likelihood of wiping out, we carry heavy tools that are sharp. We do that every night. We refurb them. So that's the ugly today. We have to really hope that everybody is sure-footed out there, takes their time driving. If you're part of the re-entry, because of course the level 3s in Martin and Perfect Perch are over. But if you're in there, just be really careful. If a water tender needs to move around, please give the water tender every right of way. We don't want them putting that heavy weight anywhere near a shoulder where they could start sliding. Even here at the Moose ski area, we've had some slick driving conditions. Everything's getting turned up. So that's really it for today. I want to introduce behind the camera Cassidy Kern and Mike DeFries, 2 of our information officers who have been out on the streets as part of our high-tech, low-tech. And as you know here, we believe totally in transparency. So what's it been like? You've been the other arm of this operation, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we run something called a trap line, and that really does go back to you trappers out there who are going to the same spots every day, checking your traps. We're doing the same thing. It's just for information. So we want you to have very predictable information coming in, so you can go to those same spots every day and either see us or see a board and get the really critical updates if you're not able to be on the internet, or you know some people who aren't. So making sure that we get that information up and posted every day, often talking to people. We've seen a lot of you at Fred Meyer, hello, going to get groceries, but happy to do that, happy to provide that information.
Yeah, and Kel, you know, the idea being with it's high-tech, low-tech, a lot of people will come by that we're interacting with, and you know, they are online, but to get it in a different way, where we're out there and people can stare at a real map, read some of the updates that we have, and then get referred to the various sources for electronic information. It just ties everything together. That's real important. And the questions we get are always, it's amazing how intelligent the questions are that we get from people. People are very fire-wise around here, and they totally support all the effort that's been going on. And you know, they understand smoke is a part of it, but just the idea that people can get information in different ways, it's real important. It's how we learn.
So because it's raining, does that mean we all just sort of take the afternoon off, get our sleep back since we've all been working really long days, put it all away for a while and kind of wait for it to get sunny?
If I could show, I don't know if you can see the mud on my boots. Boots on the ground today. We are out there. We're out there for the residents around here. We want to make sure everything's update and the weather does not get in the way of that.
Absolutely. And we also know that, you know, we need to always be in a proactive stance. We don't want to be in a reactive stance with a wildfire situation, particularly so close to homes and values at risk in our communities. So always on the offensive, making sure that we go in, clear this area so that it's cool to the touch within 100 feet of all of these critical resources and all of the roads. That does take time, so we're really in this for the long haul.
Exactly. So even with the rain, and just remember seasons like 2013 and such, we had the Moon Lake, and next year we had the 100 Mile Creek. We've had things like the Volkmore Fire, the Stewart Creek, even Hastings. Every time we have a fire season in Alaska, we have these periods of rain, which we all love because you can start seeing that you might be able to breathe again soon finally, and you'll be able to recreate with a little bit more gusto because you can do that with your lungs now. But in 3 or 4 days of this rain effect, there'll be a period of time where we'll cycle back into the hot and dry. So it's not necessarily time to just jump into having like your own program about violating burn suspensions or lighting off fireworks. There's still a lot of fuels that are shaded. This black spruce is very dense, and underneath the lightning strikes, people often ask, like, so when the lightning hits and it's raining, what happens? Well, the Anderson fire, a lot of these fires, they're what's called holdovers. So the lightning will pound in. We had thousands of strikes. They'll hide under the trees where they can skunk around because it's moist right now, and then when there's an alignment, sometimes it's 3 days, sometimes it's 10 or 12 days, it'll come up and rip around. So we're still going to abide by all the rules here locally, we hope. We're still going to be working our tails off because it's not over till it's over. And there will be a Type 2 incident management team coming in to relieve the Pacific Northwest Team 2. Our 14th day is Monday. So the Type 2 team will be coming in, we believe, from the Northern Rockies. That can change based on the statewide situation. Obviously, if there's a community that needs immediate support like you did 2 weeks ago, then the fire managers and fire, we call them the multi-agency coordination group. So to break that down, Alaska has the upper level management that works with the National Interagency Coordination Center in Boise. And those folks all work together to strategize, prioritize where the hotshots, the super scoopers, the incident management teams, the specialists, where they all go. So right now we have a bit of a plan, but we're all willing to be flexible because last night everybody was willing to send everything needed to Anderson because we're all in this together, part of that neighbors helping neighbors. So thank you all. We're going to be live about 2 more days, and then we're going to taper it down so that the incoming team can work on their plan for communicating with you. This is just what we love to do. We put up a couple more videos of fire camp this morning that show the rain, and we just want you to see that there's the night shift comes off, and I put a video up of them walking up the hill behind Moose Mountain Ski Area. They go and sleep in this right now, which is actually probably amazing.
Probably is.
Because when they were patrolling your houses during the original burn, they don't sleep that well during the day when it's 95 degrees, smoke choked, and they're amped up from the night before. So we appreciate all your support. We appreciate all the signs in town. We request that if you're going to make signs out there for the firefighters, just keep them as straightforward and clean as possible. Somebody started getting creative with their signage, and we are a mutual respect environment. We do keep that integrity piece, so we had to take a couple down. No offense to the sign maker, we really appreciated them, but just we want to make sure that the thank you signs are in the clean realm. And we'll be back with you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You guys stay there, and I'll go ahead and, hey Jean, there's your daughter right there.
Hi.
She's doing great.